Society loves to preach that intelligence is a gift, a key to success and admiration. But history and experience paint a different picture, one where intelligence often invites rejection, resentment, even hostility. In offices, the most talented workers, the ones with real but different visions, are ignored. In schools, they're mocked as nerds, outcasts. But why does this happen? Why does society turn against those who stand out intellectually? Arthur Schopenhauer, in Counsels and Maxims, showed how intelligence often leads to envy and hidden hostility. All of this will be explained in this video, including why intelligence can feel like a curse in this world, and more importantly, the smartest way to navigate the game and win everyone over. Let's begin. When a person realizes someone is much smarter than them, they secretly assume that person must see them as inferior. At the core of society's resentment toward intelligence lies insecurity. When people encounter someone intellectually superior, they instinctively compare themselves. This comparison often leads to an uncomfortable realization. Their own abilities seem inadequate by contrast. Rather than confronting this truth with humility, many react with quiet resentment. Few are willing to acknowledge their own limitations, so they project their discomfort outward. The intelligent person becomes a living reminder of what others lack, a presence that unsettles rather than inspires. This resentment plays out in every corner of society. In the workplace, a highly capable employee might find themselves subtly sidelined by less competent colleagues. In school, the gifted student often ends up isolated. Intelligence doesn't just intimidate, it disrupts. And in a world where self-esteem is fragile, people don't respond by improving themselves. They respond by rejecting the one who makes them feel small. The irony is, the intellectual isn't always trying to prove superiority, but overthinking breeds paranoia, and paranoia breeds envy. And that is where the real trouble begins. It is natural for a vulgar man to be violently agitated by the sight of opposition in any form, and in this case, envy comes in as the secret cause of his hostility. Envy is one of the most insidious forces shaping human behavior. Unlike anger or hatred, it rarely announces itself. People don't like to admit they're envious. It's easier to disguise their resentment as something else. Instead of acknowledging that they dislike someone for being more intelligent, they find superficial reasons to justify their hostility. This is why highly intelligent individuals often find themselves unfairly judged. A person who speaks with confidence is labeled arrogant. Their success is dismissed as luck. They are excluded from social circles, not because of any real fault, but because they are seen as different or unrelatable. As Schopenhauer put it, the reason that people turn to insult is because insults bring the dispute into the realm of will, where they have at least a fighting chance of being your equal. Nietzsche's concept of the pathos of distance sheds further light on this. Intelligence, like nobility, creates an inevitable separation between individuals. But while the truly noble accept this distance, the masses react with resentment, a deep-seated bitterness that festers into hostility. They don't attack intelligence directly, because doing so would expose their own inferiority. Instead, they disguise their envy as moral judgment, turning the intelligent into villains. This pattern is most evident in competitive environments. The more an intelligent person succeeds, the more others conspire to bring them down, not through merit, but through gossip, exclusion, and personal attacks. The impulse to humble the gifted isn't about fairness, it's about soothing wounded pride. And in the end, this relentless hostility drives many intelligent individuals toward isolation, not because they dislike people, but because they tire of being resented for what they cannot change. Mental superiority of any sort always tends to isolate its possessor. People run away from him out of pure hatred and say all manner of bad things about him by way of justifying their action. By its very nature, intelligence is isolating. Those who think deeply, question norms, and challenge conventional ideas often find themselves at odds with the majority. Their thoughts, interests, and conversations don't always align with those of their peers, creating an invisible yet undeniable distance. Society thrives on mediocrity. Small talk, shallow entertainment, and conventional thinking dominate most social interactions. But an intelligent person seeks deeper discussions, critical thought, and intellectual challenges, things that many find exhausting or unnecessary. This difference in priorities creates a natural divide, leading either to exclusion by others or self-imposed solitude. Beyond this, intelligence often comes with introspection, making socialization even more difficult. The intelligent crave authenticity and depth, yet the world rewards superficial charm and agreeable ignorance. In such an environment, isolation isn't just a consequence, it becomes a conscious choice. A striking example of this can be found in The Stranger. The protagonist, Meursault, is condemned not for his crime, but for failing to conform to societal expectations. He does not grieve his mother's death in the expected way, and for that, he is labeled cold, arrogant, almost inhuman. His actual actions become secondary to society's perception of him. This misinterpretation of intelligence as arrogance is what I will discuss now. To show your intelligence and discernment is only an indirect way of reproaching other people for being dull and incapable. One of the greatest struggles intelligent individuals face is the perception that they are arrogant. Even when they mean no harm, their mere presence can feel like an unspoken insult to those who are less capable. This is why society tends to favor those who are less intellectually inclined. People naturally gravitate toward those who don't make them feel small, just as a physically attractive person may be resented by those who feel unattractive. An intellectually gifted person may be disliked simply for reminding others of their own intellectual limitations. Because of this, many intelligent individuals learn to play dumb in social situations. They downplay their knowledge, avoid complex discussions. The alternative is often isolation, resentment, or outright hostility. Ironically, those who are truly arrogant often receive better treatment than those who are simply intelligent. A person who boasts without substance is seen as amusing or charismatic, while a truly intelligent person who speaks with quiet confidence is seen as a threat. It is for this reason that Schopenhauer offered a strategy, one that allows the intelligent to navigate society without inviting hostility, and that I will now explore. On the other hand, it is a real recommendation to be stupid. For just as warmth is agreeable to the body, so it does the mind good to feel its superiority. And a man will seek company likely to give him this feeling as instinctively as he will approach the fireplace or walk in the sun if he wants to get warm. Society is built to reward mediocrity, because mediocrity is comfortable. It doesn't disrupt the status quo, it doesn't demand too much, and most importantly, it doesn't make others feel small. This is why the dull and ignorant often find more social acceptance than the intelligent. They pose no threat. They offer reassurance. They allow others to feel good about themselves. This pattern plays out everywhere, in friendships, in leadership, in entertainment. The most popular individuals are rarely the most intelligent or competent. They are the ones who make others feel at ease. The world doesn't favor brilliance. It favors familiarity, relatability, and above all, the absence of discomfort. Thus, intelligence, rather than being universally admired, often becomes a burden. It isolates, it unsettles, and it invites resentment. The intelligent must learn to navigate a world that neither understands nor welcomes them. And often, the price of brilliance is solitude. Schopenhauer saw this truth for what it was. To be intelligent is to walk a lonely path. But if you have the strength to embrace that solitude, nothing could be more freeing. Good luck if you are in.